Or does it just do name, address?
It can do what's in notes, you just have to tell it the notes and you want to
Exactly
move
which
it over.
fields you
Yep.
want.
Yep, absolutely.
Cool.
Now bear in mind, if you're gonna sync your contacts with something like PySync, or just importing your, versus like importing your contacts as a spreadsheet, you may end up with duplicate contacts. Okay, and that's fine. Who cares? You might accidentally email the same person twice. I know that's a pain in the butt, but it's way better than not getting your contacts into the system.
What's the solution?
So is PySync the type of thing that we just go to it in command, it'll give us instructions, we do it on our own?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, you got it. When you go in, it'll say connect PySync, and it'll walk you through the whole process. It'll ask you what system you want to connect your contacts
So then you would
with.
say iPhone.
You would, if you're using an iPhone, chances are your contacts are being synced to iCloud,
Okay.
and then you would sync your iCloud account. You'd have to log into your iCloud account in PySync, and then it would move all your iCloud contacts into Command.
Yeah, because I have I had a lot of problems with this with eEdge.
Okay.
Literally spent months, called a lot of people, finally ended up with like a CSV, like a contacts list.
Uh-huh.
But at this point, it's very outdated, so this is much more accurate
There you
in
go.
terms of, okay.
So yeah, just sync up your iCloud. If it's iCloud, I have an iPhone, I sync my contacts on my iPhone to Google Contacts, just because I've been using Google Contacts forever. Most people who have an iPhone are using iCloud. And then you'll just sync iCloud through PySync to Command. Now once your contacts are in there, then we can cultivate them. Okay? 2 smart plans. We need to put them on the quarterly call smart plan and the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. Now look up at my screen. You're gonna click on contacts. That's the first app every single one of you need to use, just like on your iPhone. The phone app is the contacts app. So click on contacts right now. You should have at least one contact in there already. If you don't, do it right now. Just hit add contacts and add somebody right now. But when you open up your contacts, this is my brother. I'm gonna open up my brother's contact record. You can go ahead and open up a contact record now too. Now, when you're in a contact record, over on the right-hand side, there's this area called Smart Plans. Click on Smart Plans. There's a big blue plus button in the top right that says Add to Smart Plan. This is where you can add them to any of the 8 different smart plans that you have available right now. Bi-weekly neighborhood nurture is the 26 emails from the Cultivate that we talked about for the 36 touch. Bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, and then quarterly call plan. You with me?
No,
Now. No? What's up?
I was, anyway, trying to get into my contact date, so.
Is it?
No, so
Can I have
after
it?
that, where do I go?
Click on Smart Plans on the right-hand side. Oh, you gotta click on the contact.
Okay.
Okay, so
I'll
smart.
just use that. Okay. And then,
Yep,
Apps as well.
yep. Oh, because you haven't added any. So you can go to Smart Plans Library. And there you go.
And should I select or?
oh,
You would add them to, like, just add this person to the quarterly call plan for now. Yep, add Smart Plan. And then Smart Plans Library.
Is
If you've
there,
never started
is
one,
there
that's
a
the
way that
first
we
thing.
can get our eEdge contacts into this?
Not a super easy way.
okay.
There was an eEdge sync, but it broke on the market leader side, and they're not really being awesome about it.
But it doesn't matter if I can do PySync.
Correct. If all your eEdge contacts are in your smartphone, then it doesn't matter. Mhm. I want you to add at least one person to the quarterly call small plan right now. You'll find it there. Keep clicking buttons till you find it. If you don't, raise your hand. I'll come to you. Now, quarterly call smart plan is now going to remind you tomorrow to call them. And then guess what happens 3 months later? You'll get another task to call that person. Now, bear in mind, this is something that I wish somebody would have told me, God bless you, when I first set this up. Guess what happens if you put all 1,000 contacts into the quarterly call smart plan today? Yeah, you got it. Tomorrow you'll get 1,000 tasks to call your contacts. Guess what? It feels a little bit like leaving your smartphone in an Uber.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming and you don't even know what to do. So don't do that. Here's what I would do. There's this thing called Do the Database 2. Has anyone heard of it? We teach it in bold now. Write this down, DTD2. It stands for Do the Database 2. If you go to kwconnect.com, and you search DTD2, you will find a DTD2, Do the Database 2 schedule. In fact, you'll find a video by a guy named Marty Miller, who did our 66-day challenge, and he does a whole 6-minute video walking you through how to set up your database on a DTD2 schedule.
Where did you say to look that up?
kwconnect.com. That's where all our virtual learning is. kwconnect.com. Here's what I'll tell you about DTD2 for those of you that are unaware of it. We teach it now in bold. It came from a MAPS coach called Never Ending Referrals. What they did is they did a study to find out how many people have last names that start with a certain letter. And what they did is they paired up every letter of the alphabet. And so every week, if you put everybody that has a B and an E as the first letter of their last name into the quarterly call smart plan, then that week you're going to end up calling them. And then the next week you put everybody that has the letter D or O as their last name, first initial last name, into the quarterly call smart plan. You'll have to call them that week. And then the next week you put everybody that has an H and a V. Okay? This, all the letters, you don't have to memorize those. They're all on the DTD2 schedule inside of KW Connect. What we know is if you follow that schedule and you do that every single week, within about 3 months, you're going to go through your entire database. And you're going to end up doing about 10% of your database every week. Sound familiar? It's one little bit at a time, just like how you were learning to use your smartphone. Now all of a sudden you only got to call 40 people this week. And then the next week you put in the H's and the V's and you got to call 40 people that week. And then the next week you put in the whatever, N's and Q's, and you call 40 people that week. Sometimes you're going to see that you're going to have to call 60, and sometimes you might have to call 20. You can tweak that if you need to. For instance, you might have a lot of people with the last name Smith in your database, so you'll end up with more there. I saw a question, confusion.
Yeah, you said this is in KW Connect?
That's how you'll find the DTD2 schedule.
Oh, the schedule.
Yes, it'll tell you what letters to do each week.
Got it.
And then all you have to do is basically, the video in KW Connect will show you how to sort your contacts to make this as easy as possible. That's the way I would do it. You don't have to, it's just a proven model or a system to do it using the tool that we have to follow the model. Don't do what I did and put everybody into the quarterly call plan in one day. I ended up pulling them all out, I had to clear all those tasks, and then go and redo it. Just don't do it, okay? The next part of the 33 touch is 26 emails. That's the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. You saw it there when you started setting up your smart plan. You can put people on that, but here's the caveat. They need to have a neighborhood associated with them. Here's my contact record. My brother has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 neighborhoods associated with him. 6 of them are near his home in Minnesota, St. Louis Park. That's where I grew up, not St. Louis Park, but in Minnesota. Then he has a community called Blackhawk in the Bay Area of San Francisco area. It's where all the professional athletes go to die. They're all $4 to $5 million homes, and they're like lifestyles of the rich and famous homes. He watches that even though he has no intention of ever buying those homes. Why? Because he's a voyeur, just like all of our clients. They like to know how other people live. They like to see those houses that pop up. He's also watching this community called Laguna Lake. It's my community where I live in Sacramento, California, because he just likes that community and he would love to end up someday having a home, so he has a summer home from Minnesota to where he can escape the snow. So what I need you to hear is your contacts should not only care about the neighborhood they live in. They should care about more than one neighborhood, because you're teaching them that this system can actually send them real estate information for any neighborhood in the country.
Is it one email that goes out with all those and I have to click inside there?
That's correct. In the email, it'll classify, so the more neighborhoods you have, the longer the email will be. It will show each neighborhood and the statistics that are
I
happening.
didn't want to get 8 emails to get.
Yep, no. So like my brother, he lives in Lenox. I must have deleted it. Oh no, there it is. Lenox is his primary neighborhood. Texatonka is literally across the street from him. So every email he gets, he can see the average price point in Lenox, and then he can see if his house was a block away, that his house would be worth $16,000 more. It's good for him to know.
Did you add those neighborhoods or did they?
I did, I added them. Yep, as his realtor, as his fiduciary, I had a conversation with him as to which neighborhoods he was most concerned about or what he wanted to watch. And then I told him he'd get an email every 2 weeks, although my brother's on the monthly because he said he wanted it monthly. And so he gets it every month with all of this information.
So you educated yourself on where those neighborhoods were. How do we do the same thing?
You call the person and ask them what neighborhoods they want.
No. How do we educate ourselves what our neighborhoods look like in this just type of system?
Okay, so when you add a neighborhood, you hit add neighborhood. You can search for any neighborhood in the country of 181,000, or you can hit find on map. When you find on map, it'll drop a pin if you have their address. If you don't, you can search for a location like a city or a street, and then you can start zooming in. So let me go into Maui. Wailuku, is that here?
Yes.
Cool.
Neighborhood behind.
So now I can zoom down into this area in Kahului, and these are all the different neighborhoods that are available. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't understanding. I wasn't catching what you were putting down.
Okay.
So if I wanted to put my brother and he wanted to get each of these different neighborhoods,
How cool is that?
now he can watch anything that's going on inside those neighborhoods.
Thank you, that is very valuable.
Yes.
I'm not gonna add those because he'll be like, why in the world am I looking at homes in Hawaii now?
Because he wants to get out of the snow.
He can come to California with me.
Yeah, is it just limited to the United States?
North America, right now.
So
We're going worldwide later. Yeah, Canada, and United States right now. We'll go worldwide later.
Thank you.
You bet.
How did you get to that map again?
I hit, the first button here is add neighborhood from a contact record. And then I hit find on map. Now I could just search, let's just say I knew the name of the neighborhood, you could search it. What's the name of the neighborhood around here?
Kihei.
How do you spell that?
K-I-H-E-I.
That's not how I would have spelled it. So notice, we've got North Kihei, Central Kihei, South Kihei, and
Keone-kai.
Keone-kai, that is not pronounced correctly. I'm just kidding.
No, no.
So you could actually just search by that, but here's the thing. You guys have really unique neighborhoods here on this island. Imagine like my area where we have North Park Lane as a neighborhood. There's like 100 of those, so if I search for it, I got so many, so oftentimes finding on a map is the better way to do it. The cool thing is when your clients get this email, they'll get a link back to their landing page, which Kelly has now created a landing page for your client. And every email, they're gonna get a link to go to their landing page, and they can actually see every single community as this loads up. And there's an option there where they can add more neighborhoods themselves if they want to add more neighborhoods. And you'll see if they add any neighborhoods. And then that'll get added to their neighborhood nurture email every single month or every 2 weeks. So this is my brother's. He can jump between Laguna Lake, Texatonka, Lenox, Blackhawk.
Wow.
Now here's the crazy part. I'm not a member of any of these MLSs.
That's awesome.
And my brother can search any of these areas, and he can be pulling up homes in these areas. He can see school scores, he can see commute times. I can see every time he's visited this website. I'm being omnipresent with my brother instead of Zillow.
Quick question, what pops up in their email, like when they click on, what is it that they first see?
The best way to find out what they're gonna see is to put yourself on the campaign. I don't love the way it looks yet. I don't think it's sexy. But it's better than them going to Zillow,
Right.
as far as I'm concerned. It's basically your branding at the top, like a green header, and then it says, here's your monthly neighborhood snapshots. and then it says the name of the neighborhood, and then it says average price point, homes for sale, homes sold, and a couple things like that. Yep.
So you're seeing what your brother's searching for through Kelly?
I actually see it right from the contact record, so I can go back, I'm gonna open up my brother's contact record. Because he just went to his website, clicked on a couple neighborhoods, he didn't, it was me pretending to be him. But watch what happens when I go back to his contact record. Inside of his timeline on the right-hand side of the contact record, I'm gonna see that he's been visiting these web pages. Nope, and it didn't update, it's here.
So you can see if they're having interest in a certain area and
You
when
can
they
even
had
see
it
which
and how often
properties
they're
they
looking.
opened. Yep, how often they're looking at them. It's not uploading, they must be sending a hotfix in right now, but that'll all show up. Here's what it looks like. He viewed this listing, he viewed this market snapshot, he viewed that market snapshot.
And you just went to his name for that?
Right from the contact record, it falls into the timeline.
So if you search not through Kelly, but through the KW app, the Red app, will that also show?
Good question. So let's say your client is searching with the Keller Williams mobile search app instead of, because they can't use Kelly because they don't have a login. Can we see all of that? Not yet. Keller Williams International is building a new app for us, which we've all been hearing a lot about. It's coming out probably in the next 60 days or so. And the old app is automatically just going to turn into the new app. And it's going to be a whole new experience. That new experience will sync right up to Command. So the old one, anyone who's using the old one will get the new one as an automatic update. And then anytime they search in the new one, it'll show up inside the timeline here. And Kelly will be analyzing their behavior. And Kelly will serve you an insight like, hey, it's time for you to reach out to Adam because the things that he was doing inside the app would indicate that he might be looking to sell his house soon.
Cool.
See, it all comes together full circle now.
So it knows when you call him, because you call him brother.
I have to tell it that.
Oh.
Yeah, so if I'm in here and I call my brother, I just hit this little plus button, I can add an activity. And I can just say, I had a call with him. And then I can come in here and even say, what have we talked about if I wanted to. When you do it from Command Mobile or the Kelly app, if you call somebody from within Kelly, it'll actually, next time you go into Kelly, it'll say, it looks like you called Adam Younger. Would you like to log that interaction? And it'll do it right here.
And is the texting you add that?
Same, yep. Now, you can actually text from Command. That, we're not gonna go into that right now, but it's a service called Twilio. I'm gonna write it because it's a made-up word and you wouldn't know it. Twilio, Twilio. You can send text messages from your computer, from Command, and it'll log everything right here. It is a different phone number, but you own the number through Twilio, and anytime they respond, it'll show up inside this newsfeed, and you'll get a notification through Kelly. I don't recommend signing up for that yet, because it does cost money, and it doesn't work great yet. Now, it's only $1 a month, so it's not expensive, but I just don't want you spending $1 a month on something that you may not use yet. So we talked about why, we talked about how, we got into this, we started poking around. We talked about the algorithm of what to do with our contacts and what to do with them inside of Command, which is ultimately get your contacts in, start cultivating them with the bi-weekly neighborhood nurture. In order for them to get a bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, you have to put them in a neighborhood. That's probably the most amount of work you're gonna do in this process is go in and get into the neighborhoods. How do you find out which neighborhoods they care about?
Call them and ask.
Call them. Yeah, it's a touch. It's awesome. And then we put them into the quarterly call. We now have 30 of our 36 touches done. All we have to do is hold 2 events and do 4 items of value, and you now have a 36 touch within Command.
For all the emails that get sent out, there's no way to preview or edit.
Not yet. That'll come with inside designs with custom smart plans.
So you can customize it.
You'll be able to customize all that stuff here very soon with custom smart plans. But don't wait, start putting these things out. One of the best pieces of advice I got early on in real estate was a guy named Dick Dillingham, and he said, Zach, put it out there, let it get better later. The enemy of productivity is perfection, is what he was saying. If you sit there and you wait until it's perfect, you'll never do it, and it just will end up working against you, and Zillow will take market share. Now, last thing I want to leave you with, and then we'll open up for any questions and ahas and things like that. 6.37%. Write that down, 6.37%. That's a new number you will not see in this book, and you will see in the new book. Anyone want to take a stab at what 6.37% means?
Open rate?
Nope. Good guess.
Give us a minute, I want to think of this.
Okay, give me like 30 seconds.
I like puzzles.
Here's what I'll tell you. There is a conversion rate for METs to closings in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent, and that conversion rate is 12-2. If you put all of your METs on a 33 touch, for every 12 people in your database that you touch appropriately, you will close 2 transactions. Turns out that number, nobody was really hitting that number. The new number is 6.37%, but it's a little different.
Conversion rate?
Yes, of, kind of.
Like touches to something.
Oh, you were so close and then we went the wrong way.
Contact.
But good guess. Contacts to
Close.
close transactions.
Close.
What we know through all of the studies they were doing for this new book is that 6.37% of the people in your database right now are going to buy or sell a house in the next 12 months. 6.37%. Now, some of you are gonna have databases that are more like 5%. Some of you are gonna have databases that are more like 8%. The average is 6.37, okay? So in other words, if you have 100 people in your database and that's it, or you call 100 of the people in your database, statistically speaking, if you spend 2 hours calling people, you just talk to 6 people that are gonna buy or sell in the next 12 months. That's a better conversion rate than a lot of people's open houses. That's a cool number. So it changes the way we talk to people. And it could be something like this. Hey, I was just in a class and I'm doing some new technology with our company and there's something that I want to do with you. I want to actually send you an email every 2 weeks with hyper-local market statistics. In order to do that, I need to know what neighborhoods you care about. And then, is there any particular neighborhoods that you really like to watch the real estate in? And they might give them to you. It might be the one they live in, it might be one they want to live in. It may be that they can't do anything and you ask them a couple questions to figure it out. Here's something to be aware of. Have something ready, like one particular neighborhood. You guys know what it is, I don't know what it is. That one neighborhood that everyone cares about. What's that one neighborhood on this island that everyone would live in if they could?
McKenna.
Okay, maybe it's McKenna, I have no idea. But maybe you're talking to someone and you say, what about McKenna? Would you like to see the homes that come up for sale on McKenna when they come up? Do you think people are gonna say yes? Yeah, maybe it's not McKenna, maybe it's a different side of the island. Maybe they're back in Iowa. I don't care where they are. You set them up on a couple neighborhoods and then you end the call with this. The instructor told me something fascinating. 6.37% of the people I talk to today are gonna buy or sell a house in the next year. Now I know that might not be you, but will you do me a favor? If you fall into that statistic, will you do me a true solid and make me the one you call when that happens? And then they're gonna be like, wow, really? 6% of the people you know are gonna buy a house in the next year? And you're like, I know, that was wild to me too. Will you just think of me when that comes up? You're creating mind share, you're having conversations around real estate, you're setting up your 36 touch, and you're winning every day.
So MREA used to say 2 out of 12 for a buy, sell, or a referral.
Yeah.
So 6.3 is a buy, sell, or a referral?
No, 6.37% of the people in your database, so 6.37% of the people you know are gonna buy or sell in the next 12 months.
So what will you get a referral from?
What do you think?
Another 6.3 at least.
Yeah, exactly. So 6.37% of the people they know are gonna buy or sell.
That's right.
Now, some people are gonna be better at getting referrals. Other people are gonna be better at closing the people in their database. And so what we found is that number really moved a lot. And so I think they're gonna be more hard pressed on just knowing the stats. And that is, we know a certain amount of them are gonna do it. Which ones are you gonna capture, either through mind share or the law of emotional proximity with omnipresence and AI?
Cool.
Guys, I'm out of time. I know.
That was some knowledge. Thanks a lot.
Oh, yeah.
That was a
Thank you.
P12 shot.
I'm gonna hang out here. I don't actually have to fly back to Kauai for like another hour and a half or something like that. But before we end, and I know I just went a little over, and if you need to run. What are your questions? What are your ahas? And if you want to geek out over this, or just get more help with it, I'm gonna do it. But like, what do you guys have? Yeah.
Okay, I've been looking around on the site. I can't, and I even searched it. I can't find PieSync.
It's in settings. Yep. You click on your name in the top right, and go to settings.
Thank you.
You bet. There you'll find PieSync. And if you go to KW Connect, Technology, Tech-Enabled Agent, there's a whole 30-minute webinar that walks you through the process if you'd like to learn that way. You can also click here and you can hit the question mark in the top right, and then you can go to Keller Williams University, and you should be able to type in PieSync. I never tried it.
No.
There you go. There's your tutorial on how to sync your contacts with PieSync.
Oh,
I'm gonna do it again.
I looked down, I was putting it
Yep.
on my phone, so.
Click your question mark,
Okay,
and then hit Keller Williams University.
yep.
And then you can type in whatever it is you want to figure out. I typed in PieSync, and there is a guide that walks you through it. There's a video and step-by-step guide with pictures and arrows and stuff.
Is PieSync one word?
Yes, it is.
And it's PIESY?
SNC.
How's the connection to eEdge right now? Is
Not
it-
good.
Okay.
Yeah, somebody asked earlier, it worked for a little while, and then something on the market leader end like broke,
Okay.
and then now they made it hard to get those contacts out. Market leader's not really playing ball with that right now.
So we just gotta export and import.
Yeah, that's your best bet. It's gonna take you about an hour to do it. You guys don't use Scott Leroy Marketing
We
here,
do.
do
We
you?
do.
Oh, good.
You can-
Fantastic. Sorry, I didn't know you guys were using Scott Leroy Marketing. Your leadership team has hired Scott Leroy. All you have to do is export your contacts out of eEdge and send it to Scott Leroy. They'll format it and put it into Command for you. They do it in a day turnaround.
But then you'll have to go back in and do all the neighborhoods yourself.
Yes, you're still gonna have to add neighborhoods. Anyone who has an address, Kelly will automatically pull at least one neighborhood for them if they live in a neighborhood.
Will they also do our CRM into Command?
Yeah, if you just have to export your contacts, you send it to Scott Leroy and they'll do it for you. Yeah, I'm sorry, I should have asked earlier. What I don't like to do is ask if your leadership team pays for Scott Leroy, because if they don't, and then you'd be like, yeah, and then I just cost your leadership a bunch of money. So, yeah, that's actually easier than PieSync, because all you have to do is export your contacts, email Scott Leroy, support@scottleroy.com, say Zach Younger said you'd put my contacts in, here they are, and in a day you'll have them in there, a business day. Yeah. You guys find value?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, 3 more ahas and then we get you out of here. Is that an aha or a question? Okay, can you hold that and we'll do 3 ahas real quick? Yeah.
I love that you can choose the neighborhoods, and what if it's, like I have friends in New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they aren't gonna buy in Maui. But what about selling in New Hampshire, or buying another house, or a camp on the lake? If I put their neighborhoods in there, they're gonna contact me and I can get a referral.
And they don't even have to contact you. Kelly will tell you when they're getting closer to that process and that phase, and then you can just reach out to them and say, hey, I have a feeling you're gonna be buying soon. And they're gonna be like, wow, you're such a good realtor. Yeah. You know what other good realtors do? And they say what? They have a network of other amazing realtors. Is it okay if I put you in touch with an epic realtor instead of a complete stranger? And they're gonna be like, awesome. And then if you have a really good relationship, you can say, and I even get a referral fee. How cool is that? And they're like, yes, rock and roll. You're the best realtor ever. 2 more ahas.
I want to know when that conversation.
I like learning about the question mark, and then there's KW University right there.
What I didn't say also is if you hit the question mark, underneath that is, underneath Keller Williams University, is chat with support.
Okay.
Now that's a chat bot, but check this out. If you wait a second, there's another button that comes up. It says get in touch. One of the options after get in touch is gonna be leave a message during extended business hours on mainland. So in other words, about 2 hours ago it shut off. You could actually live chat with the support team in Austin. You can ask questions and a real person will actually chat with you.
Wow.
And they'll walk you through anything you're having troubles with. The really cool part about that is, At the end, they'll send you an email with your entire chat log so you can remember what you guys talked about.
Oh, that's great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, this is gonna make our referral business, like, through the roof.
Well, imagine if all of a sudden, instead of putting someone in touch with an agent in Tempe when they just started, you can start nurturing them all the way to the point to where they want to start looking at houses. Now you call up an agent in Tempe and say, hey, my clients want to look at 3 different houses. If you write an offer on the first one, I want a 50% referral fee. By a show of hands here, who would give me a 50% referral fee if all you had to do is show one house and write a contract? All day long. Trust me. Okay? Then they're going to be like, okay, but what if they look at 3? 30%. And if they don't buy any of those, I'd take the normal 25%. Are you good with that? Agents are going to take that all day long. In fact, you might find an agent that'll give you a 60% referral fee if all they got to do is open a door and write a contract. Now, they might not be the agent you want representing your clients. But I'm just saying, think big. Okay, there was a couple questions. I'm going to let you guys get out of here. If you have questions, hang out. Anyone who has questions, we're going to share them with the group, and we'll keep playing with this stuff. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you spending time with me.
Question, but it's not really a group question. So when I first loaded in,
It's so fresh and so clean.
everything loaded well except for my notes. For some reason, loaded in the lead source